Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 26th. The London series has come and gone. It was a lot of fun, and the Angels started to make some moves. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? What a weekend of baseball it was. A lot of fun games happened. A lot of walk-offs, a lot of runs. But how many sweeps did we have? We're going to find that out and more in our series recap. If you're new, please feel free to subscribe, like the videos, follow the podcast. It helps me out a ton. It's been a lot of fun doing these so far. We're getting to the point where we're about midway through the season. Episode 27 already. It's pretty crazy that we've already done so many of these. And hopefully we can do so many more. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's dive into our series recap. Let's start with the Royals in Tampa taking on the Rays, and Wander Franco has been benched for not handling his frustrations better while in the game. Interesting stuff there. But for the first game, Drew Waters would have an important game as he would hit his second home run of the year to put the Royals up. But Francisco Mejia would tie it up with a home run of his own, and Randy would get Tampa the lead with a 2-run single. But in the 8th, Drew Waters ties it up with a 2-run single for himself. And then in the 9th, MJ Melendez drives in what would end up being the winning run as the Royals beat the Rays in the opener 6-5. In the second game, Jose Siri crushes a 3-run home run for his 13th of the year to get the Rays going, who then later added 4 more runs in the 5th inning as Tampa takes it to even the series. They win it 11-3. In the third game, Wander Franco, after missing the last 2 games, is back in the lineup, and in his first at-bat, he hits a home run as the Rays would be up 4 after 2 innings, but the Royals show some fight, and after a 3-run third, Freddie Fermin starts the 4th with a 3-run home run to put the Royals up. And the Royals pitcher Jordan Lyles, who in his 15 games pitched, the Royals have lost all of those games, finally gets his first MLB win on the year. That breaks that streak, and the Royals win it 9-4. And in the 4th and final game, it's another Jose Siri's home run, backed by a 12K performance from Tyler Glasnow, who only pitched 5 innings. The Rays get 2 runs in the 7th to seal the deal. They win and split the 4-game set 2 apiece, 3-1. The Rangers are in New York taking on the Yankees. In the first game, Dane Dunning does a good job at holding the Yankees, but so did Clark Schmidt in holding the Rangers, as we would be tied at 2 heading into extras, where Adolis Garcia crushes a 2-run shot to put the Rangers up. As they hold the Yankees in their half to take the first game, they win it 4-2. In the second game, pitcher's duel between John Gray and Luis Severino resulted in only 1 run scored on a Billy McKinney home run for his 4th of the year. The Yankees even this series with a 1-0 win. And in the rubber match, thanks to a Jonah Heim home run early, the Rangers would have a 1-run lead for most of the game until the bottom of the 8th, where Harrison Bader would get a 2-run double to give the Yankees the lead, and Giancarlo Stanton's single would give them an insurance run. Not that they would matter much, because Michael King would hold the Rangers as the Yankees take the game. They win this series. They win it 5-3. A's in Canada taking on the Blue Jays. Toronto, a JJ Bleday home run gets the A's night started, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. finally hits a home run at home. It's his 10th home run of the year. That would give the Jays the lead. JJ Bleday would tie it up with a sac fly later on, and we would stay tied until the 9th, where Shea Langeliers launches a home run to get Oakland the win, as Trevor May would hold the Blue Jays as they dropped the first game to the A's 5-4. In the second game, Jose Barrios strikes out 8, while Danny Jansen hits his 10th home run of the year, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits another home run. And I know it's Oakland, but don't let Vlad get hot, as the Blue Jays win to even the series up 7-3. And in the final game, George Springer gets his 55th career leadoff Springer dinger to move him second all-time behind Ricky Henderson. That would get the Jays started, and they would roll past Oakland in the game, ending it with a 5-run 8th inning with Kevin Biggio's 7th home run of the year. While Kikuchi dominates Oakland, the Jays win the game. They take this series 12-1. Mariners at Baltimore taking on the Orioles, and the Mariners came to Camden to swing as Tom Murphy and Teoscar Hernandez both go yard, and in the top of the 8th they put this game out of reach with a 7-run inning. As the Mariners take the opener, they win it 13-1. In Game 2, Baltimore would get 2 home runs from Anthony Santander and Aaron Hicks, while the Mariners would have 4, all of which being solo shots from Mike Ford, J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, and Mike Ford again. That second Mike Ford home run tied the game at 4, while the Mariners were down to their last out, which sent the game into extras, but the O's got the last laugh as Ryan McKenna was the hero, hitting a walk-off 2-run home run as the O's win it 6-4. And Anthony Santander has been playing a great brand of baseball recently, and in Game 3 he robs a home run and then hits a home run, his 14th of the year and his 5th home run in the last 6 games. The O's get the series win, beating the Mariners 3-2. It's a sock off. The Red Sox taking on the White Sox in Chicago in the first game. A game with good pitching. Lucas Giolito would have 10 Ks and Brian Bello would have 5 in nearly 7 innings of work. The difference in this one came down to a Rafael Devers 2-run home run as the Red Sox get the first game, winning it 3-1. In the second game, the White Sox would get 4 solo shot home runs from Yasmani Grandal, Jake Berger, Luis Robert Jr., and Andrew Vaughn. And after Boston tied the game in the top of the 9th with a Justin Turner single, the White Sox would walk it off in the bottom half with an Elvis Andrus single to give the White Sox the win to even the series 5-4. And in the rubber match between the Sox, and it would be Luis Robert Jr. who makes the difference in this one as he hits 2 home runs in the game for his 20th and 21st home runs on the year, as the White Sox get the game and the series, winning it 4-1. And now we've got the Twins and the Tigers. Kenta Maeda has his first good game in a long time as he goes 5 scoreless innings with 8 Ks in a game he said he needed to have and can excel from here, as Royce Lewis and Max Kepler go deep for the Twins as they take the opener 4-1. In the second game, the Tigers get an early lead with Zach McKinstry getting a 2-run single. The Twins would attempt a comeback with 2 solo shots from Carlos Correa and Joey Gallo, but come up a run short as the Tigers hold on and get the game, winning it 3-2. And in the final game, the Twins find a way to tie the game up in the 8th after an error by Detroit to send it into extras, where the Twins would score 3 runs in the top of the 10th and hold the Tigers as the Twins get the series W and win the game 6-3. The Brew Crew taking on the Guardians, and the Brew Crew would start by scoring 5 runs in the 6th inning with Willy Adames hitting 2 home runs in the game. He went 4 for 5 with those 2 home runs and 5 RBIs to his name. The Brewers get the opener, they win it 7-1. In the second game, after the Brewers jump to an early 2-run lead, the Guardians score 4 unanswered runs with Josh Naylor, David Fry, and Andres Jimenez helping out as the Guardians even the series 4-2. And in the final game, the Brewers get a 3-run 3rd inning, but the Guardians answer with a 3-run inning of their own in the 6th, which would end up sending this game into extras, where Owen Miller doubles in a run for the Brewers, and Devin Williams comes in to get the save as the Brewers take the series and win the game 5-4. Mets and Phillies, and in the first game, Brandon Marsh goes 3 for 4 while driving in a run alongside Harper and Stott as they both get an RBI each, and Trey Turner, who had a 2-run single. The Phillies get the first game, winning it 5-1. Second game, Starling Marte and Nicholas Castellanos both go deep for their teams, as we'd be tied at 2 entering the 6th, where the Mets would double their lead by scoring 2 runs and holding the Phillies from there as they even this series with a win 4-2. And in the final game, Trey Turner gets things started with a leadoff home run, but the Mets answer with home runs from Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso and would lead this game 6-3 entering the 8th, where things would slip away as the Phillies would score 4 runs on a throwing error, a walk, and 2 hit by pitches while only having 1 hit in the inning. The Mets gonna Met. They shoot themselves in the foot, gifting the Phillies a win and getting the series W. The Phillies win it 7-6. The Pirates and the Marlins would play 4, and with the Pirates leading in the game, their number one prospect helps give them some insurance as Henry Davis hits his first major league home run. And later in the 8th, Ke'Bryan Hayes goes deep as well to give the Pirates a 3-run lead. But hold your horses, because in the bottom of the 8th, Brian De La Cruz drove in 2 runs on a single, and then Garrett Cooper hit a go-ahead 3-run home run to turn the table and win the game for the Marlins, as the Pirates have now lost 10 straight games as the Marlins come back to win the opener 6-4. In the second game, pitchers duel between Jesus Luzardo and Luis L. Ortiz would result in only 1 run for most of the game, as the Marlins would score 1 in the first inning, and it would remain that way until the top of the 9th, where the Pirates would rally for 3 runs in the inning and steal one from the Finns, as the Pirates finally get a win, ending the 10-game losing streak as they win it 3-1. In Game 3, Luis Arias gets his 3rd home run of the year to have the Finns up 2. Andrew McCutcheon, he gets his 400th career double as the Pirates tie the game up in the 9th inning and send it to extras, where both teams would score a run in the 10th, but in the 11th, the Finns hold the Pirates, while John Birdie is the hero with a walk-off single for the Marlins. They win it 4-3. And in the last game, Yuri Perez continues to dominate with another great performance, as his scoreless streak is now at 21 innings and an ERA at 1.64. Jonathan Davis hits his 2nd home run of the year to help the Marlins offense. As Perez and the pen blanks the Pirates, the Marlins win 3 of the 4 and beat the Pirates 2-0. The Braves and the Reds. The Braves have won 8 straight games. The Reds have won 11. And what a series this would turn out to be, as it starts with a bang. The Braves score 5 runs in the first inning, but 3 Reds home runs from Jake Fraley, Ellie De La Cruz, and Joey Votto tied this game up before Matt Olson hits his 22nd home run of the year to put the Braves back up, but only for a short while, as in the next half inning, Joey Votto crushes a 3-run home run for his 2nd long ball of the game. Ellie De La Cruz would drive in a run on a triple that would complete the cycle for him, as he did that in only his 15th career MLB game. The Braves would attempt to come back with 3 home runs in the 8th from their stars in Ronald Acuna Jr., Austin Riley, and Matt Olson for his 2nd of the day, but would end in a run short, as the Braves win streak ends at 8, while the Reds win streak goes up to 12. They win it 11-10. In the second game, home runs aplenty in this one for the Braves. They get long balls from Travis d'Arnaud, Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna, and Matt Olson, who for him hits his 200th career MLB home run, his 3rd in the series. The Reds would also have 4 home runs in the game from Matt McLain, Spencer Steer, Jake Fraley, and Will Benson. Those last 2 home runs came in the 9th inning as the Reds tried to come back, continued the win streak, but unfortunately could not, as the Reds win streak dies at 12 with the Braves win 7-6. And in the rubber match, Matt Olson ties Ohtani with the league-leading 25th home run on the year, his 4th home run of the series. Matt McLain would do everything he could, going 4 for 5 with a home run and 3 doubles, as he drove in 5 of the Reds' 6 runs. But just like the last game, the Reds come up a run short, as the Braves take 2 of 3 versus them. They win it 7-6. Angels and Rockies in Colorado in a game that Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani hit back-to-back home runs. The Angels would find a way to lose it, as Elias Diaz hit a go-ahead grand slam in the 8th to help the Rockies get the openers. They beat the Angels 7-4. And in the second game, where do I even begin with a game like this? The Angels, they score 13 runs in the 3rd, and they followed that up with an 8-run 4th inning to lead 23-0 after 4 innings. Mike Trout, Brandon Drury, and Matt Thaiss go back-to-back-to-back on back-to-back-to-back pitches. Mickey Moniak would also have a home run, as well as David Fletcher, who hits his 1st home run of the year. Mickey Moniak and Hunter Renfroe were perfect, both going 5 for 5. Moniak with 3 doubles plus the home run. The Angels win it 25-1. And in the final game, Ezequiel Tovar hits his 7th home run of the year and drives in what would eventually have been the winning run as the Rockies beat the Angels in 2 of 3 games while being outscored by the Angels 32-12 in the series. The Rockies win it 4-3. Nationals and Padres. The Padres ran away with the game because of their offense as Ha-Seong Kim, Xander Bogaerts, and Juan Soto all hit home runs for the Padres to take the opener. They win it 13-3. In Game 2, Matt Waldron makes his MLB debut, and he's the first knuckleballer since June 23rd of 2021, but things do not go his way as he gives up 2 home runs to Lane Thomas and Yeimer Candelario as the Nationals win to even the series up 2-0. And in the final game, Yeimer Candelario starts the game with another home run, and later on the Nationals unload for 5 runs in the 7th to put this game out of reach as they beat the Padres in 2 of 3 games. Nats win it 8-3. We've got the 2017 World Series rematch, Astros at Dodgers, and in the first game, Mookie Betts hits a leadoff home run to start the series off for LA, but the Astros would tie the game on back-to-back home runs from Mauricio Dubon and Kyle Tucker. The Dodgers, however, would retake the lead on a Michael Busch double as Emmett Sheehan's second start is just as good as his 6 hitless innings in his debut a week ago. As he records his first MLB win, the Dodgers take it 3-2. In the second game, Will Smith and Jason Hayward would both go deep for the Dodgers in the first to get them started, but the Astros answer Alex Bregman hitting a go-ahead grand slam as the boos rained down on him after that. The Dodgers would stay in the fight, however, with David Peralta hitting a 2-run shot in the 7th to put the Dodgers within 2, and then they would score 3 runs in the 8th to take the lead. That last run being scored on a balk by Ryan Stanek, which he was not happy about. He was ejected after finishing the inning when yelling at the umpire. Nonetheless, the Dodgers win another 8-7. And in the final game, Mookie Betts has another leadoff home run to start things off for the Dodgers once more. But home runs from Jeremy Pena and Jose Abreu would put the Astros up. Freddie Freeman records his 2000th career MLB hit, and then Will Smith launches a 2-run home run to tie the game up in the 8th, resulting us into extras where both teams scored in the 10th. But in the 11th, Alex Bregman would drive in a run on a base hit, and the Astros would then hold the Dodgers as they win that last game to avoid the sweep, taking it 6-5. The Diamondbacks and the Giants, the 2 best teams in the NL West. Yes, you heard that right. The Giants and the D-backs, the 2 best teams in the NL West as of now. Evan Longoria would hit a home run in his first at-bat against his former team, but the Giants would answer with a 5-run 5th inning, including a 2-run home run from Patrick Bailey. As the Giants take the opener, they win it 8-5. In the second game, Ketel Marte starts it off with a home run for the Diamondbacks. The Giants would come back after a while, what would end up being tied at 5, when the Giants rookie Luis Matos hits his first career MLB home run to put the Giants up as they take another one versus the Diamondbacks. An inch closer to first place, they win it 7-6. And in the third and final game, Ketel Marte hits a 2-run home run to extend the Diamondbacks' lead late as they have to remind themselves and the Giants who's in charge of the division. As the Diamondbacks win to avoid the sweep, they take it 5-2. And now we have our London series. God save the king as we're playing baseball in London, and Ian Happ had quite the series, and in the first game he hit not 1 but 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats of the game to get the Cubs started. The Cubs would end up with a 6-run lead, and in the 9th, Dansby Swanson puts the exclamation mark with a 2-run home run as the Cubs hang on to win the first game in London 9-1. And in the other game, the Cubs would get the jump again by scoring 4 runs in the first inning, but the Cardinals would show some fight by scoring 7 unanswered runs from the second inning to the 5th inning, as they would hold the Cubs to only 1 run after the first inning. The Cardinals win it, and they split the London series 1 apiece, 7-5. And that will do it for our series recap. The biggest note, there were no sweeps this weekend. All 15 series came and went, and all 30 teams won at least one game. Looking at our game of the weekend now, we had some good ones. We have the London series games, the game where the Angels scored 25 runs. A lot of good walk-offs, but I have to go with the Braves and the Reds on that Friday. Both teams starting the series looking to extend a winning streak. In that first inning, the Braves get on the board, Austin Riley with a single, and then Travis d'Arnaud a 3-run home run, his 5th on the year, making it 4-0 before Orlando Arcia doubles in another run as it was 5-0 before the Reds even got up to bat. In the bottom of the second, Jake Fraley, he hits home run number 10 on the year to make it 5-2. In the bottom of the third, Elly De La Cruz hits his 3rd home run of his career. That made it 5-4. And in the bottom of the fourth, Joey Votto, his 2nd home run in his many days, makes it 5-5 as it has a brand new ball game. In the top of the 5th, Matt Olson, home run number 22, made it 7-5 Atlanta. Then in the bottom of the 5th, Elly De La Cruz, he singles in a run to make it 7-6 before Joey Votto launches his 3rd home run on the year, his 2nd of the night, a 3-run shot to make it 9-7 Cincinnati. Bottom of the 6th, India singles in a run to make it 10-7, and then Elly De La Cruz hits that triple to make it 11-7. That completes the cycle for himself as he has had a home run, double, single, and triple in the game. And in the top of the 8th, Acuna homers to make it number 16 on the year, 11-8 Cincinnati at that point. And then Austin Riley and Matt Olson go back-to-back. Austin Riley's 13th of the year, Matt Olson his 23rd. Riley's made it 11-9, and then Matt Olson made it 11-10, and that is where that game ended as the Reds held it from there. They win the game. They extended the streak to 12 and ended the Braves at 8. What a game that was. That was your game of the weekend. And now we'll look at our baseball news, and I think we should just touch upon the Mets blowing that game. The Mets and the Padres have had poor starts to the season. I mean, we're 3 months in almost now, and both of them are 4th in the divisions. They both look bad. You know, considering what we thought they were going to be heading into this year, it's been a horrendous season for both those players, both those teams. And I mean, the Padres, they lost the series to the Nationals, and that's just not something you should be doing. If you're the Padres, you guys are contending. You guys have an amazing team. You're the Nationals, you're not contending. You have a poor team. The Padres need to, if not sweep, win that series regardless. There's no reason they should have lost that series. Xander, at the end of it, said, come on, man, we're playing the Nationals. I don't think they have playoff aspirations, so you have to beat the teams that you have to beat. And the Padres had to beat the Nationals. I mean, the Dodgers won 2 of 3 against Houston, and then the Giants and Diamondbacks played together, right? Those are all the teams that are ahead of the Padres in the division. Regardless, one of those teams was going to lose that series, whether it was the Diamondbacks or the Giants. Giants took 2 of the 3, and because the Padres lost 2 of 3, they didn't get anywhere this weekend, you know? They stayed the same amount of games back on the Diamondbacks, and they lose a game against the Giants and the Dodgers. That's not what you should be doing there. The Dodgers played a tough team in the Astros, took 2 of 3. Good for them. The Padres were playing an easy team. They should not have lost that series. They should have at least been able to get a game on one of those teams ahead of them, and they don't. So, you know, for the Padres, it has to start soon because eventually, you know, every day that window is going to get smaller and smaller. So, hey, you know, you got your pieces. Tatis is there. Machado's there. Are they playing like the players they should be? You could argue that. Machado really hasn't been the Machado that we saw last year. But you still got pitching. You like Blake Snell's been very good in his last couple of starts. You know, help him out a little bit. Get some wins. The Padres need to go, and they need to start it now. The Rays, they benched Wander. We talked about that a little bit. It was an interesting move. Kevin Cash was to handle his frustrations better, and that makes sense, right? He's a young guy. You paid him a lot of money for 13 years. He's going to be the role model. He's going to be the leader of that team for the decade. And, he's a young kid now. He needs to know what he can and cannot get away with. We saw this earlier in the year when the Tigers benched Javi Baez after forgetting how many outs there were and making a mistake. And Javi Baez, he's a veteran guy. He's been around the game for a while. He was a rookie with the Cubs, having fun, playing good. Now he needs to be that leader presence for the Tigers. The same way that Wander should be that for the Rays. And you know what? Yeah, he's still young, but you got to teach him while they're young, and I think the Rays made the right move. He came back and hit a home run. So, in the end of the day, it all works out, but it's just something that you should note that is interesting. The Angels, they made some moves. They traded for Eduardo Escobar from the Mets, and they also got Mike Moustakas from the Rockies, which was interesting because that news that Mike Moustakas was traded to the Angels happened an hour after the game finished on Saturday, the 25-1 game, where the Angels absolutely blew up the Rockies. So I guess the Rockies were like, yeah, you could just take one of our players, and they took Mike Moustakas. That's definitely not how it went, but I think it's funny that way. Eduardo Escobar is very interesting. We know about the news that Gio Urshela is going to be out for the year, so the Angels need to go get a piece. And with the Mets, playing the way the Mets did, they thought it was a good plan. So Escobar and Mike Moustakas have joined the Angels. That will help them out, obviously. They're a team that has two best players in baseball. They don't have the surplus of pitching like other teams do, but the Rangers have been dominant. The Astros are still big brothers, and they've got the Mariners trailing them. When you think of that, you got to fight for that division. And when you look at the wild card, you have the AL East all in those spots right now. So Angels have to fight. They made some moves, so hopefully it'll work out for them. The Nationals, I saw a fun fact today. They have not swept a team in their last 90 series. It's the longest streak in MLB history. The last 90 series the Nationals have played, they have not been able to sweep one of them. Very interesting stuff. The Nationals are a bad team, so it makes sense. But to even not get one sweep, not a 3-game winning streak, a 4-game winning streak, it's definitely interesting. I'm sure they've had 3-game winning streaks, but probably end of one series, start of another series, but just can't get a sweep. So hopefully they can get that one soon. And the last thing to mention is Baltimore, a young, fun team. They're making another move. They're going to call up one of their young guys, Jordan Westburg. He will be playing today, I believe, against the Reds. That starts a new series there. That's a fun series. Baltimore playing a lot of fun baseball. They have a lot of young prospects, a lot of young rookies, having great seasons. The Reds have been a lot of fun. Yes, they dropped the series to the Braves, losing those last two. But the Reds were a very fun team during that 12-game winning streak and still are ever since Ellie De La Cruz has been called up. The Reds have been good. They're in first in the NL Central. We'll talk about that more during our standings check. But yeah, interesting to see Baltimore making another move. And we'll see how this kid plays out for them as well. And that will do it for our baseball news for this weekend. And now a look at our outstanding performances for the weekend. We'll start with one of the Marlins, Braxton Garrett, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 13 Ks. That's a career high for him in strikeouts. Mitch Keller, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 Ks. Joe Musgrove, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 Ks. Justin Steele in that London series, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. Yuri Perez, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 9 Ks. That's a 21 scoreless streak for him, and his ERA down to 1.34. Yusei Kikuchi with the Jays, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Tyler Glasnow, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 12 Ks. Jesus Luzardo, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 Ks. And lastly, Luis L. Ortiz, 8 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. 3 Marlins were on this list: Jesus Luzardo, Yuri Perez, and Braxton Garrett. That's how you know you had a good series. That is our outstanding performances. Now it's time to take a look at our standings check. Looking at that AL East, the Rays still atop there, 54 wins, 27 losses. They're 4.5 games up over Baltimore, who are 47 and 29. The Yankees at 43 and 45 are half a game above the Jays, who are at 43 and 46. And the Jays are both 3 games above Boston, who is sitting in last at 40 and 39. Also, 40 and 39 are the Minnesota Twins, except they're in first in the AL Trash division. The Guardians are at 37 and 40, below 500. The Tigers at 33 and 43, half a game above the White Sox, who are 34 and 45. And the Royals sit at the bottom there at 22 and 56. Looking at the AL West, the Rangers still atop. They're 5.5 games above Houston. They're at 47 and 30, while the Astros are at 42 and 36. The Angels are half a game back on the Astros, 42 and 37, one extra loss for the Angels. The Mariners back to below 500 after dropping 2 against Baltimore, 37 and 39 for them. And then Oakland way down at the bottom at 20 and 60. Over on the NL side, the Braves are the first NL team to 50 wins. They're 50 and 27 and are 9 and 1 in their last 10 after that one loss to the Reds. The Marlins still in second and still showing some strong suits for a playoff run eventually. They're at 45 and 34, 4 games above the Phillies, who are in third place at 40 and 37. The Mets, we talked about how they should be better. They're 35 and 42, fourth in the division. And the Nationals at the bottom, they're at 30 and 47. They're just as close to the Phillies as the Nationals are close to them. That's when you know you're kind of at rock bottom. The NL Central has the biggest switch up. The Reds in first place, 41 and 37 after a 12-game winning streak, and then those last 2 losses there. The Brewers in second at 40 and 37. Cubs in third at 37-39. The Pirates, after dropping 10 straight games, are now in fourth. They're 35 and 42. And the Cardinals still in last at 32 and 45. Also a rock bottom team. The Cubs, the only team in that division with a plus positive run differential. Lastly, now we have the NL West. The Diamondbacks still atop above the Giants. They're only 2.5 games up, though, after the Giants took the series. They're at 47 and 32, while the Giants are at 44 and 34. Also with 34 losses are the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have 43 wins. The Giants with that one extra win. The Dodgers are 3 games back on the Diamondbacks and half a game back on the Giants. The Padres are 9.5 games back of the Diamondbacks. They're at 37 and 41. Same with the Mets, a place where you do not want to be. And the Rockies are in last at 31 and 49. Looking at the playoffs real quickly, the Jays are back in the playoff picture. They would be the 6th seed, while the Yankees and Baltimore still have the 4th and 5th seed. And over on the NL side, the Reds now hold the Central Division, are in the 3 seed, and it's still Miami, Giants, and Dodgers for the wild card there. That is your standings check. And now a look at the upcoming series for the week. The Giants are going to Canada, take on the Blue Jays in Toronto. The Reds at the Oilers for a fun young series there. Marlins at Red Sox. That should be a good series. Guardians at Royals. White Sox at Angels. The Tigers are in Texas to take on the Rangers. Yankees at A's. The Nationals at the Mariners. Twins at Braves, Brewers at Mets. That's an interesting series there. Phillies at Cubs, Astros at Cardinals, Padres at Pirates. That's an interesting series. 2 teams have been struggling. Rays at Diamondbacks is another interesting, fun series. And lastly, we've got the Dodgers and the Rockies. That, however, will do it for us today on this Monday episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. If you're on YouTube, share the love. Helps me out a ton. And yeah, that'll wrap it for us. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys Friday.